My name's Erin O'Brien. I am currently the Marketing, Communications, and Outreach Coordinator at the Natick Community Organic Farm. I grew up in Natick. My parents grew up here too. So I've been coming to the farm since I was a little kid on things like field trips or just, to come and see the animals and walk around and stuff like that. So the farm has been a part of my life since I was very small. I am in charge of things like social media and the website for the farm, as well as our outreach efforts. So anytime that the farm is off grounds out in the community, I coordinate that and generally attend those events and get to meet all of our farm friends, old and new, to make friends with them. So that's what I do generally day to day. I love working here. This is the best work environment I've ever really had. You hear a lot of corporations say we're family, and you don't really believe that. But here, everyone genuinely cares about each other, and we care about what we do here. And that's probably, it can be personified as our community lunches on Thursdays. Half the staff will cook, the other half will clean. And people will come in, other farmers from farms down the road and around the state. Our forest gnomes families will occasionally stop in. Our own family members will stop in. There's dogs, there's babies. Everybody's eating together and laughing together. You could be sitting next to a 12-year-old or an 82-year-old, and everyone's just kind of here together having this great communal meal, which is amazing. We nourish each other. We nourish our community. It's great. A big challenge for the farm that we've recently sort of gone through, I'm sure tons of people will mention that the barn burned down and we built a new one. And that has been an incredible experience getting to be here as we've watched it grow up from the ground, literally. I think our big challenge right now is making sure that we're reaching everyone that we want to be reaching. Throughout Natick, you've sort of got folks who have been here for a very long time who know the farm is here and either visit it or don't. And then you've got lots of new people coming into the area, and figuring out how to reach them and let them know that we're here and we're great and we're free to visit is definitely a big challenge, part of my job at least. This is probably the most failure positive place I've ever worked. And when I say that, I mean, we're gonna screw up and we're gonna fail at things, but the idea is always try it out, see what happens, learn from it, try again. And that's not so simple just to say and do, but this place makes it very simple. When I started my job here, I knew very little about most of my aspects that I do now, things like graphic design and website maintenance and social media. And so I've learned it all here since I've been working here. And that's been an amazing gift, an amazing journey for me. I think that being a free space where there's not a lot of expectation for spending money or doing anything really those are few and far between opportunities nowadays. Particularly, I grew up in Natick. This is a very different town than it was in the 80s and 90s when I was growing up here. And there's less and less of this sort of free, open, natural space for people to be in. The other really important aspect, I think, is connecting folks to the food that they eat. There can be a real disconnect. I used to work with animals and doing shows, and I would bring a chicken on stage, and there would be a good amount of kids who didn't understand that chicken, the animal, and chicken, the thing you find at the grocery store, are the same thing. And so that's a really important thing for us, to be connected to the food that we eat. It doesn't just originate at the grocery store. It comes from somewhere and from someone. One of the things that I really like about the Natick Farm is our ability to pull together lots of different people around town. Like I've said, there's contingents here who have been here for generations, and there's contingents who are just arriving. And there's something here for everybody. This is nice because it hits nostalgia and hope for the future at the same time in the same people. And so everyone has something that they can really love about this place. And that is great. There's two sort of bookend experiences that I've been thinking about a lot. The first is when I was 13, me and my best friend Jill Saganario, shout out to Jill, decided to volunteer here. And it was the fall, and we were in charge of bringing the turkeys into the turkey house at night. And at the time, the whole pasture was like all one big pasture, I think. Maybe it was split in half, but it was different than it is now. And the creek was dry, so there was this culvert underneath, a big tube underneath, and two of the turkeys were in there. And so I had to crawl in like army style to scare the turkeys out, while Jill waited on the other end to like block the exit so that they could like go back into the house. And that, just that kind of experience of, we were just getting filthy trying to get these turkeys in the house, and no one was telling us how to do it or what to do. It was just like, get the turkeys inside however you need to. And that was just such a cool experience for me. And then the other one was during my interview to work here. I was sitting in this room with Trish, and the interview ended. And as I was walking out, I noticed a pig skull on the counter. And I said, "That's a really cool pig skull." And Trish said, "Oh, if you like that, you'll love this." And she took me to a refrigerator and opened it up, and there was a pig head on the top shelf of this refrigerator, partially decomposed, and it was covered in a plastic bag, and there was just a label on it that said, "Max's project, do not touch." And it was one of our teens was trying to physically clean the skull to see if he could do a better job or a quicker job than what we've normally done to clean bones, which is bury them. And that was the moment that I was like, I have to work here. Like, if this is the kind of place where we're gonna let a teen clean a pig skull, like, I have to be involved. It was like so cool. I've thought a lot about this too, as we've talked about this project a lot, and as we've gotten excited about this 50th anniversary. I am currently 37 and a half weeks pregnant, and my hope for the next 50 years is that in 50 years we do this project again, and my son can come on and talk about what a wonderful, gentle, dirty, curious childhood he had here at the Natick Farm.